Welcome back. So, this is how I make my mechs. We're going to start fresh. But I'm going to show you a couple of things that I've learned. This weight, this leg system of springs is extremely good. Now, you're not going to see it there. But here's the thing to keep in mind. Each raw tank track is 125 kilograms. So I've got two servos just to bend the knee on one, well, yeah, 250 basically, 250 plus whatever was put in the legs here. What I have found about this particular configuration is with these springs here, is that they support a lot of weight rather well, and they work smoothly across the board. So I'm going to show you another iteration, and then I'm going to help my doggy out. And doggy, I guess, is looking for water. Now, here's a better example where you can see it. So this is more like a boxing sort of a bot, right? But I want to get you started here after I give my dog some water. So, how do I start these out? Step one is always the pose. So this is how I always start when I'm building a mech. I just grab an underwater seat in case I fall underwater during testing or whatever. I'm just going to grab some square blocks. Alright. Let me make these real quick. My dog is not being patient. Alright, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm sorry. So, let's get back to the tutorial. So this is the way I always start. I always just establish this sort of baseline. And we want to do a walker mech. So the way that I usually do this is I grab these springs, this suspension piece, and I double up on it. No, not like that. Other side, folks. So you're going to line them up like this. Grab some hinges. These large hinges. They're more durable. Yeah, if you use the smaller hinges, it's not going to be as stable. And then also, it's just not going to be as durable in combat. That's why we're using the large hinges. Plus, we don't need we don't need high angles. We're just looking for a little bit of flexibility with good armor. And then I'm going to grab some servos, stick them out here on the side. Don't worry about anything right now, like the settings or whatever. Just get everything in place. Like I'm not, you know. Line it up. So then what I usually do is I put one of these down here. One gyro for turning right and left. And then I'm going to grab, and you know, this is all preference. Actually, let me show you real quick. This absorbs a lot. Now watch the suspension. It's flexible, but barely even phased. Alright. So I don't know how you folks do legs, right? That's up to you. I'm just going to show you the general principle here. So no matter what your legs are, right? Let's say your legs are this long. Yeah, no matter how long they are there. You're just looking for stability, straight up, at this point. Now, we want to turn all of these off. Turn all the controls off. Now, just for this video, I'm going to split right here just to show you how I do this. But I usually make both of these segments longer. So what you want to do is you want to grab a servo, bring it in. Again, this is an easy, quick guide just to give you some general ideas, principles. Like, don't click the wrong arrow, you know, like I just did. Don't do that. So what you're going to do here is you're going to connect one side to the top portion over here, or over here, however you want to do it, and then the opposite side to the bottom end. So I'm just working with a basic one here, but this is the same principle I always use. You want to get a solid foundation. Now we're going to want to set these all to 180. Well, a little bit shy of 180, so like 170, 160 on the angle. Now I didn't turn the controls off. Did I? Yeah, I didn't. Just so you can see what we're dealing with here. We want the limbs to come up just shy of colliding with the origin point or the other weld group of the other limb. Mind you, I'm not a professional mech trail maker, but my favorite things to build are mechs and aircraft. The rest of my time is spent looking for glitches. Sons of glitches. So let's continue with this. Okay. See how it's laying on the ground? Dead as a doornail there? Yeah, it's because we forgot to add these. We do want to add these stabilizers. These gyros. Now, in my mechs, I typically put at least 3 on each side. And they're going to be cranked up to the max. Always on, not off. But we're going to crank them up. That way I don't end up laying on the ground again. Well, until we get into battle maybe. So now we're going to remove all the controls from these servos. We're going to keep it at 1 speed for now. You're already going to go fast enough on 1 speed that it's going to be hard to dial in speed 2. That's why I'm saying like I'm recommending 1 right now. Now we're just going to take this, right? This whole section here. Copy. And paste up to here. Now we've got our arms. Make sure you copy from the corresponding side. It's just good practice. It doesn't matter at this point, but it's just good practice when you're building. Because usually it will matter. But we already removed all our controls. There, bam. Now we've got a basic stick figure that is balancing upward. But it's not balancing left or right. So we're going to add a couple of these guys. We're just going to copy these. Put a couple in the back here for now. Because I'm just showing you the basics. Eventually you're going to see you're going to have to look for places to put these suckers. You're going to need more than just this. But this is a good working frame. Now here, I know that looks awkward. If you don't like it, do whatever you want with that joint. But really what you're trying to do is get these hinge joints connected to these servos so that you can angle the joints. Right. And then we're going to have to get into a little bit of logic. I'm going to explain this. Don't worry about it. This is real simple. So long as there's no input to the NOR logic gate block, right? See how there's nothing in here? No button. Like if I push this, I can select a button. No, we want no buttons. Just the way it comes, you can hook that up to these hinge blocks. To make them automatically stay active unless there's some kind of interrupting input. I'm about to explain. So this is getting into phase 2 of how I build my mechs. It's pose. I'm looking for a pose. I need to get the right frame, like the arms got to be at the right angle, etc. See how it's like decrepit here? You have 2 options here. The best option is just to make a good practice of turning one side. Well, you have to pay close attention to this. One whole side to negative on the speed. Right, so see how like that arm straightened out a little bit? So the only problem is actually the hinges here. Alright, so we're going to fix that. I'm going to turn off thought I already had these off. Turn off the controls to all those servos. Okay. So one side's going to be up, one side's going to be down. We're looking for more like on the right. Or, well, the left side. For facing forward. So we want to turn the... You have two choices here. You can turn these around. Right? Just rotate them. Actually, I have three choices. You can just rotate them like I did. You can go into their settings and just put whatever the value is here in the negative instead of the positive. What's the other thing? There's another way to do it. What was the other? Oh, the other way is you can reverse the controls up here. So you can just say A and D. Right? And then on the other side you would say D and A. That kind of a thing. We don't want any of these controls, by the way. We're going to turn them all off because we're going to control them through logic blocks. But it's real simple. It's all going to go back to that NOR gate. It's not very difficult. Promise you. All this thing does is say, like, if there's no input coming into me, do this all the time. And this is what I use to pose, to get my frame in the right pose for a good mech. So, just honestly, the easiest short fix is to turn these around. Turn one side around. Doesn't matter. Whatever your settings are, you can see when you go out of build mode which one you need to fix. So now we got the arm fixed, right? We're not going to keep them at that angle, but now they're symmetrical. And we're going to do the same thing with this leg down here. There. We're getting a little bit closer here. Okay, since this is sending a signal to here, we just got to adjust the right angles to get something that looks a little bit better. Let's take these and put the angle to... I'm going to go with 45. 45 is a pretty good angle. It's going to be a little bit wide. Actually, we're going to go 90. We're going to go 90. I've never tried this before, but now the way we're going to mitigate that is we're going to go back and go back into our sensor. Remember, this is always sending the signal, do this thing unless there's an interrupt. And we're going to change the output. We're going to change the strength. How far are you going to extend or complete the output is what we're dealing with here. And now you can see there's like a slight angle. Not a whole lot, but there's a slight angle there. Still not what we're looking for, so we'll just go back down here, readjust. Let's try, yeah, there you go. A little bit better. Looks a little bit more organic. Okay, so some part still has the controls on. It's this one. Yeah, we want to turn all the controls off, by the way. There's very few circumstances where you want to use the controls rather than the logic. Now here comes the fun part, okay? Here comes the fun part. The logic. So this is going to be our default. Right, that's setting up our angles from our hinges. That's just to get us halfway to the pose. Now we're going to grab another NOR logic gate. And this is always step one for me. The pose. You have to get the pose on the frame correct, then build around it. So now we're going to look for like angles. So this one will go to the shoulders, right? Just going to go to the shoulders, try to get those. See how they're raised up? That's at 1. So we need to turn that output down a little bit. We're going to go like 0.2. Only because I have like most of these numbers memorized. That's good. Yeah, so basically you're just adjusting the individual joints with this. Trust me, we'll get to the walking section. So we're going to copy this, remove these, and now we're going to work on the elbows. All we're trying to do is get the frame to a good pose. So you have two choices that you can make over here, right? See how that arm is backwards? You can reverse the speed or flip it. Those are your options. I like things symmetrical, so we're just going to change the speed. Yeah, so that should put them synced. There you go. Now I'm going to skip some steps, and we're just going to get this thing walking. But that's the idea. Well, actually, I'm going to do one more. 1 second. There we go. So we just changed the angle on those. Now we could do the same thing with the legs, but I'm going to skip those steps. I'm just going to show you the basic way that it works. you're going to want to use these XOR logic gates. And typically when I'm just programming it, I tend to just stick it on the part that I'm programming, like near it. That way I don't have to like wonder what's going on here. So for example, over here, we want that to swing forward. So that's going to be negative. And that's where you have to stick in your controls here. So we're going to go with W. Right now it's just going to stick up. It's even in the wrong direction. I'm sure that there are a lot of better ways. I know there are a lot of better ways to do this. But I'm just showing you how I generally do it when I get started and I'm testing something. Wait a minute. Hold on. Yeah, that would explain why. Okay. So you want to use these XOR logic gates. Just a minute. And this is where you're going to set your like keys. So I'm going to go W and I'm going to go to this hinge. I want the leg to swing forward. There you go. I don't know why the other leg was swinging. That was weird. Oh, it's the controls. Alright, so we're almost there. This is the very beginning of your walk cycle. Now you want to look for the angle. Just a minute, real quick. Let me figure this out. I don't understand why that one's swinging. I only have one leg programmed. Oh, that's right. I left a logic block on the back of it. So typically I put the logic box in the spine area, so it's like the core of the machine you can armor in. That's why I was confused. As you can see that these gyros that we put on the back, right below the seat, that's only 2 of them on strength 10, and it's keeping us in the air when we raise a leg. So that's pretty good balance. You don't really need very many on that plane. You need more on forwards and backwards. Anyhow, let's get this thing walking. So we got our first stage here, right? Now, I remember why I did that. Yeah. So, just so I don't lose place of all my logic blocks, I tend to put the part that it's affecting right on. I only do this while I'm programming it. And then I move it back to the spine and then hide it in a core with armor. So now we got our first joint coming up. That's a little bit high, right? So we can go over here and tinker with our servo settings, but I don't want to do that. We're just going to use our input block, the same one that we used to raise it up, and we're just going to lower some of the output strength. So like 0.8. It's probably going to be good. Yeah. That's practically a kicking animation right there. Already assigned. Now we're gonna duplicate this, but we're gonna change the settings. We don't want the hip, we want the knee. See how it just falls in place? It's already pushing us forward. Now, here's where the tricky part comes into place. You need to grab whatever logic you use for this side and bring it over here. But you're going to have to tinker with the settings. Right, because it's from a different servo. But you can always go back over here and look. Right. This is going to the hip. Okay, great. This goes to this hip. But we're going to change. We want this to be negative because it's the other side. Otherwise you get like a weird asymmetrical floppiness. So then this goes to the knee, this goes to the knee, and again, it's the other side, so flip the numbers, right, to the negative. If you don't want to do this, you can also just go up here and switch the W over to positive. But this is the method that I use. So now we've got sort of like a squat, right? But really that's the beginning of our walking animation. I don't have any secret tricks here. I'm just showing you the basics of how to get it animated and how to get it working. So here what you want to do is one side is going to be delayed by 0. And it really depends on the length of your legs. Pretty much. You kind of have to guesstimate here. Pretty much got to guesstimate. But you're going to go down here. One leg has to be 0. This is going to be the leg that steps forward first. The other one's going to be something like this. Duration 0.30. And then pause 0.30. Now, whatever you do over here, I generally have found that whatever figures you put in here for that leg, 0.30 for duration and 0.30 for pause, you generally want to those are the things you want to transfer to the other leg. For sure. Right, so we are going to come over here and do the same thing. Remember, these are our leg sensors that we programmed. So we're going to go 0.30 and 0.30 here, just like that side. But the delay, this is telling when the animation will start. So we're going to switch this to 0.30 on one of the legs. So you're getting one leg stepping forward and then the other one following. This is probably not going to work, but you're going to see the animation working. That's how you can actually get smooth well, it's actually bringing me forward. I'm surprised. Yeah, like I think if I turn this up, I probably already would walk. Not much, but I would walk. Yeah, I'm walking backwards. I'm moonwalking. But you see the idea here. This is what I'm trying to show you. When you mess with these angles enough, you can get it to where it's bringing you forward, and you can run up to like 100 miles per hour with no thrusting assistance, just straight contact with the ground and good logic over here. Yeah, so NOR gates, these are pretty much just to set up your pose. Like, I'll show you the rest real quick, and then I'm going to call this quits. I tend to pose all of my, and this is only a frame, right? I'm going to replace these blocks later and then shape the whole thing. But I will have a working core. Yeah, let me show you how I like sort of shape the legs real quick. Same process. These NOR blocks are very useful. If you want to pose anything, make it start out in a certain position, always use these NOR blocks. They're perfect. So this time I'm going to do the hips, right? I'm going to try to give it like kind of a stance. So again, you're just going to look for the side that's not aligned up right. Switch it to the opposite speed. Right, like this one says 1, so just go -1. Now they'll both be forward. But you also don't want it to be the full amount there. But yeah, you can use these NOR gates and really make some amazing poses. And it just makes your, whatever you're building, feel more dynamic rather than like a fixed robot kind of a feel. Hold on. I gotta figure out where I put this block. Did I stick on the other side? No. Okay. Which one is it? Oh, it's this top one. Yeah, so we're just going to turn this down, right? Because we're trying to just get like a cool looking stance. Let's try 0.20 right now. Yeah, still a little bit much. Still a little bit much. Yeah, so this is all just about finessing, messing with the figures. Yeah, but I think 0.1 should do it. This is also another factor that's going to come into your walk cycle. So like the first stage is posing it, getting the right pose in it, and then animating it from that pose. That's what I have found to be like the best workflow. Again, I'm not a pro. I love building this shit. Alright, now we're getting closer, you see that? Now if we bend the knees a little bit, we'll have like a proper stance. Watch. So we'll just go ahead and duplicate this. But we want to make sure that we have it turned off to the other ones. Now we're just going to move it down. We want the knees now. And oh, we got that same problem. So you're just going to look for the one that looks more correct and go to the opposite side and switch that servo's speed setting to the negative. And now this thing might walk. Who knows? We shall see. Wait a minute. What's going on there? That's a little funky. This one's a little weird. Let's figure out what I did. Oh, wait. Okay. Now I know. It was the gate itself. So this is going to be -1. It's the gate itself. I forgot to switch the other settings. That's the other thing too, yeah. I got it. There we go. I know it's not walking. Okay. Well, this is technically a moonwalk. But with this kind of a setup, if you tinker with the settings long enough and balance your whole model, you can end up with a really smooth walking animation. Look, it's the same one that I've been using in these other ones. It works very well. Like, that is extremely smooth. I haven't found a smoother walking animation. But it's the same thing that I used on this model. And it just churns even on a dime. Look at this. Well, It's got some hoppity problems. But yeah, hopefully this was helpful. That's just basically how I build all my mechs. They all have this kind of a frame to them. And one thing I like about it, right, when the whole frame is set with the NOR gates with preset positions into a pose position that it's animated from afterwards, then you're able to do really cool stuff like this. Hold on, let me get up here. Oh no, this is the broken one. Alright, let me introduce you to the not broken one. Yeah, you can do all kinds of crazy stuff where it's, because it's fluid and dynamic, it just naturally absorbs any kind of shock. So like this thing doesn't walk well, but I programmed it to just do handsprings. Like that's how it moves instead. But you can see like the recovery, the way it moves is a lot more dynamic. Anyhow, hopefully that was helpful. If you have any questions, just hit me up. And yeah, this is like a Beyblade. But yeah, hopefully that little tutorial was helpful. Let's go back to that real quick. No. Oh, okay. Yeah, I basically showed you how to build this walking animation. It's always going to be about adjustment. But you can see it. Like, I have no assistance. I'm going up a little bit from one of these, what are they called? Not gyros. Gimbals. Going up a little bit. But other than that, it's all just fluid surface contact. Anyhow, that's how I start all my mechs. That's how I build them all. And I'm not some kind of great mech builder. You just gotta love the game and be curious enough to figure it out. That's all it is. I'm gonna do another video when I get up explaining my favorite glitches. My favorite sons of glitches in this game. Until then, have a good day.